So thank you very much. Respected Jagtap sir, the principal of College of Agriculture Business Management, KK Agriculture Institutes basically, and engineering institutes, and Professor Savita Shinde ma'am, for introducing me and actually giving us an opportunity to give the training program on recent advances in irrigation, nutrition, and digital farming solutions for the benefit of the students and the staff of Agriculture Business Management College. So first of all, you see, what is the purpose of this training program? So why we are organizing this training program? The purpose is that I have written to all agriculture colleges, agriculture engineering colleges, agriculture business management colleges in Maharashtra, in order to update the knowledge of the students and the staff members regarding the irrigation, fertigation, or the nutrition technology, as well as now the automation or the crop management technologies or digital farming solutions are also coming in agriculture. And as we know, Nashik is one of the districts in Maharashtra which is a very progressive. We are growing the crop like grapes, basically, which is a very sensitive crop as far as irrigation, fertigation is concerned, as well as plant protection is concerned. So basically, our purpose is to disseminate the technology, to disseminate the information, to disseminate the knowledge which we have as a leading drip irrigation manufacturer in the globe. So we wanted to expand this technology to the benefit of the students and the staff members. So we have started this. Actually, I returned to the colleges and we got very good response. I tell it to you, September month is full busy month for me. Every day I'm organizing a training program for one college. And till now, I have completed about 27 programs. I started in last week of July, August, and now we are in September. So 27 programs have been already completed. And this month is also busy. So friends, you're taking the interest. Basically, our purpose is that you see Netafim being a leader in a drip irrigation system. And we wanted to extend this technology, actually, with which our farmers, our beneficiaries, whoever the stakeholders, they should get benefit out of this. So I will start with my presentation. I hope everything is okay. My slides are visible and I'm audible also. Okay. So friends, you see, India needs a new way to grow. So what's the reason basically? Because you see, traditionally we are doing the agriculture for last so many years or so many decades or so many ages, we can say. So agriculture is age-old practice. But then India need to adopt the new way, the modern technology, the innovative technology. So whatever we wanted to do with a purpose, with the objective, with the goal to increase the productivity per unit of land as well as per unit of input. This is very much required because you see, on one side, the population is increasing. If you see the India's population presently, it is about 130 to 135 crores. But by 2050, this population is going to be 1.7 billions, means about 170 crore. So the food requirement of this country is going to increase, and it is going to increase by 40%. Today, we are requiring about 270 million metric tons of food grains. But in 2050, we will be requiring about 450 million metric tons of food. And you see, food security is a very, very important from any country's point of view. If you really wanted to succeed, if you really wanted to have a stability, if you really wanted to give the development, means give the attention to the development objectives of a country, you need to have a prerequisite, and that is the food security is very, very important. It's a topmost priority of every country. So if India we consider, we have a limited resources like water, like land. And so 54% of India's area or India's territory is facing a problem of high to extreme high water stress at this time. And water, as we know, land, as we know, and the inputs which we are using in agriculture, they're becoming scarce, they're becoming costlier. And another very important thing is that those needs to be used very, very precisely. So why we really wanted to adopt the new way to grow the crops, the purpose is that if we wanted to really increase the productivity per unit of land, per unit of water, per unit of nutrient, and per unit of whatever the insecticide or pesticide or whatever the input we are using agriculture. That is our most important objective. So with this, we basically, in India, you see, globally you can see, 91% of the fresh water goes for agriculture. 2% for the municipal or the corporate use, 7% goes for the industrial purpose. As far as India is concerned, 48%, that is about 68 million hectares of the land is irrigated land, while 52% of India's land is still unirrigated. It depends upon the rainfall only. If you see globally, although the micro irrigation practices are being adopted by the people, but it is also at present also I can say it's on a pilot scale, because 15% of the area is covered under micro irrigation, while 85% is under conventional irrigation or flood irrigation. So under this scenario, what's more important for us is to increase the productivity. And for increasing the productivity, what's most important is the precision agriculture. Everybody now and then is talking about the precision agriculture. And friends, as we know, what is meant by precision agriculture? Precision agriculture is irrigating and fertigating each and every plant or a tree in a field. Suppose it is a 1 acre of a land, there are 400 trees or 400 plants. Then we need to irrigate and fertigate every plant or every tree to get its a maximum potential, harnessing the productivity of that particular plant or a tree. And for which we have to nourish the plant, we have to irrigate the plant, we have to nutrigate the plant, we have to take utmost care of every plant or a tree in order to get a highest possible productivity of the same. And in this case, precision irrigation is very important. Precision irrigation is what? We need to apply the irrigation water as well as the nutrients exactly at the root zone of each plant or each tree per unit area. Suppose it's 1 acre or 1 hectare. Then you see, by adoption of this, what will happen? We will be getting a high yield. Yield we can get. But not only the yield is important, but the important is what? Not only the yield, but we should get it on a sustainable basis. Sustainable basis is very important. Some of the farmers, what they get 1 year, 2 years, they make the records, they get certain prizes, certain rewards, certain awards, but they do not continue in the same way on a sustainable basis. So more important from our point of view is that sustainability in a food production, sustainability in the yield is very, very important. And how we can do this? So basic irrigation management practices, what we are adopting or what we are learned is that when to irrigate, how much to irrigate, and how to irrigate. If we are able to answer these three questions, then we can do the best irrigation water management for any of the plants. So, and when we are using this micro irrigation, you know, my request to all will be, please be on a mute. Okay. So it will not be disturbing for others. So friends, what I was saying, when we're adopting the micro irrigation practices of the precision agriculture or the precision irrigation practices, then what we are able to do, we are able to save the water at the same time the nutrients. Not only the nutrients and water, but we can save about the labor, we can save the energy and other inputs also. So this is how precision irrigation is very important. Basically, as I said, Netafim Irrigation is world's #1 drip irrigation company. Because Netafim is the company which has given the birth to the drip irrigation concept to the globe. Means this is the company which has invented the drip irrigation system. The first dripper in the world was invented by Simcha Blas. Simcha Blas was a scientist who was working with who was connected, who was associated with the Netafim irrigation. So friends, what I wanted to tell you here is Netafim works on a certain purpose, vision, and mission, and certain core values. So these values are not important only for the Netafim, but these are important for everybody of us in our professional as well as personal life. Because our purpose, Netafim's purpose is what? Helping the world grow more with the less. Means getting the productivity, highest productivity per unit of input or per unit of expenditure, whatever we made. And our vision is what? So drive mass adoption of the smart irrigation solutions to fight scarcity of food. And scarcity of food can be fought by scarcity, by fighting the problems of the water and land. And this we are working with the 4 core values. First core value is a dare. Second is a create an impact. Third is a make it happen. And fourth is a partner for success. Friend, dare means what? Everybody of us, we need to dare. We need to come out of our comfort zone. We need to have the courage to explore and seek out new opportunities. Drive change and be prepared to step out of your comfort zone. Stretch yourself. Everybody needs to stretch ourselves. Because you being the students, I will be always telling it to you, this is the best phase of a life. This is the best phase of a life for you. So in this phase, you need to learn, you need to understand, you need to acquire the knowledge, the information, whatever is happening, all in different parts or different, what you can say, in a different subject, different topics related to. But most important is as you are doing the post-graduation in agriculture business management. So for you, it's important how you can manage the resources in order to increase the productivity in agriculture. Because it's the peace of mind of farmer is very, very important. So you need to have the dare, you need to have the courage to innovate and take the risks. Taking the risk is a very important. Out of comfort zone is very, very important. So create an impact. How we can do this? Whatever you do, suppose we say no, you need always you need to follow your dreams. Basically, you need to have the passion to follow your dreams. You should see the dreams during the daytimes and have the efforts, have the concerted efforts to achieve your dreams. Leave your mark on any area in which you are working. Inspire others to create a positive and significant impact. This is very, very important. Most important is that whatever you do, make it happen. So what we can say, impossible to possible. That's a very important. Do it and perform with excellence. Excellence is very important. Whatever things you do, suppose today I am giving a training session to you. My objective, my goal, or my ultimate aim is that whatever I wanted to tell, I need to stress upon you, and because of which your thought process should be changed. You should look to this topic. You need to have the fresh look to this topic, and how we can adopt these practices for the betterment of farming community at a large. So be prepared and persistent. Proactiveness is very important. It's not that somebody is telling you and you're doing it. And friends, what's more important is partner for success. Partner for success means what? We cannot do individual. जसं आपण मराठी भाषेमध्ये ग्रामीण भाषेमध्ये बोलतो, I do not know, most of the students might be Maharashtrian, so I can say my thoughts both in English as well as in Marathi. Ma'am, whether it will be visible, or shall I continue only in English?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No. Shall I say something in Marathi that will be fine or not?
Maybe.
Okay, then I will continue in English. That's not an issue. But what I wanted to tell you, the partner for success, they're very important, because you see, whatever the stakeholders from the agriculture colleges, agriculture engineering colleges, agriculture universities, the scientists who are working in the field, KVKs, agriculture business management colleges, government, central government, state government, then NGOs, all these people are working for the cause of the farming community. Companies like us, Netafim, other companies also, they might be seed, they might be in fertilizer, they might be in plant protection. But all these people need to come together, and they should work for the cause of the farmers. And this one cannot do, but we people coming together, we can do it. So we can create a spirit of a mutual respect, trust, and integrity. This is very important. Respect for each other. Respect is to be commanded, not to be demanded, as we know. And that depends upon your work. So the respect should follow you. Then trust, that trust is a very important. Whatever you do, so we need to have the trust within ourselves, within our group. And integrity is a characteristic. Basically, one has to have the what we can say, the clarity, the quality in their work, whatever we do. And it is very important. We need to empower others to success. And here, our stakeholder, what we can say, the central point of attraction is a farmer. So we need to consider him at the center, and we all people should do the work for the betterment of his productivity, then his income, and finally his net profit. That's very, very important. So these four values, they create an impact, make it happen, partner for success. These are important, not only the professional life, but individually in everybody's personal life also. Because you see, we already have a capability and a potential to perform. But basically, many of the times what happens, we do not know ourselves. We do not introspect ourselves. We do not listen to our inner voice. And if we listen to our inner voice, then there comes a spirit, there comes energy, there comes certain things which forces us to do something better for the farming community. And if you are doing something for the farming community, then there is a point in doing agriculture or agriculture business management or agriculture engineering. Whatever we study, it needs to be transferred. It needs to be transformed for the betterment of the community. Yes. So friends, what is our mission statement? Our mission statement is that we need to bring the improvement in the economic status of the farmers. So he may be a sugarcane farmer, then what we can say, orange farmer or a grape farmer, or whatever he is growing, vegetables, orchards, fruits, everything. So whatever he does, we need to improve the economic status, because after all, what is important is that he should get certain amount as a net profit to him after doing the farming as a profession. How we can do it? We can do it by application of an innovative, modern, and cost-effective and more suitable or appropriate technologies. These technologies needs to be adopted by the farmer in a water management. How we can do this? We can do this through micro-irrigation systems, fertigation, automation, and most important is the crop productivity improvement program. Friends, our ultimate aim, our ultimate mission is to improve the economic status of all these farmers. And if you see today, you see why it is needed. You see, Today, 45% of the world population is facing the scarcity of the food. And 45% of the population has a problem of a food security. And the demand is increasing. As I told you, for India, it is going to increase from 270 million metric ton to 450 million metric ton in year 2050. This is going to happen for the globe also. So most important is that water and land, these are very, very important factors. And water is the most important food production factor. Without water, we cannot think of the irrigated agriculture. And unless and otherwise there is irrigated agriculture, we cannot have the surety of getting a certain productivity per unit of area. And if you see, if the water plays such a vital role, then what is the availability of the water of the earth? You see, as we have learned in the school, that 71% of the area is although occupied by the water and 29% is only by land, right? But till then, whatever water is available, 97% of our water is a salt water. It is in oceans or the sea. 2% of the water is in ice. It is in the polar regions. So this is also not useful for us for the agriculture or for human consumption. 0.6% of the groundwater which is there, which is below 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer, which is not economical for us to lift that water and use for agriculture. So that is also not available for our purpose or our use. So friends, so 97 plus to 99 plus 0.6, that is 99.6% of the water which is available on Earth's surface is not useful, either ground or underground water. So only 0.4% of the water is available for us, for agriculture as well for human consumption. And this 0.4% of the water, so it means water is a very, very scarce resource, very costly resource, needs to be used most preciously, more judiciously, most scientifically. And if you see global, India's comparison with the global presence is that world's 2.4% of the land and 4% of the water resources that are available with our country. Listen, means whatever the water available globally, out of that only 4% is with us. Whatever the land available globally, so 2.4% is with us. And with this limited amount of land and water, what we have to do? We have to see the livelihood of 17% of the world's human population and 15% cattle population. Friends, India is such a huge population we have. Huge population of both human beings as well as the cattle population. It is 17% and 15% respectively as far as human and cattle population is concerned. So with a limited resources, limited means 2.4% land and 4% of water, if we have to do this, how we can do this? So hence, land for cultivation and water for irrigation needs to be used, must be used most economically and efficiently as possible. How we can do this? This can be possible only with the drip irrigation. So friends, drip irrigation is the only best solution, or what we can say, it is the only solution for doing this. As far as India's agriculture is concerned, India, you see, we are world's largest producer of the fresh fruit, pulses and spices. We are the second largest producer of fresh vegetables, sugarcane and groundnut. We rank second in the farm output worldwide. But the friends, we are facing so many challenges. Means for getting a more productivity, our more important challenges are what? Low farm productivity, inefficient users of agriculture input, and more important is that being a huge country, having a huge population, there are no people to work in agriculture. We need to go for mechanization, but there are certain issues in mechanization as. So friends, these are the key challenges as far as Indian agriculture is concerned. First and foremost is low farm productivity and poor profitability. You see, we are doing the agriculture since ages, I said, since civilization, we are doing the agriculture, but we are doing it traditionally. Our grandparents were doing, our parents were doing, now we are doing, our generation people are doing agriculture. But our productivity is very low. Why? Because we have the low mechanization, human labor is involved, bullock power is involved. And so, the another very important, whatever the inputs we are using, its efficiency is also very, very low. So friends, agri input constraints are there. Whenever the farmers do the agriculture or they have to plant certain crop, they do not get the seed. The quality is also an issue. The cultivable land and available water is also going down, and labor shortage is a very, very severe problem as far as agriculture is concerned. So friends, 72% of the area is in the critical zone as far as water is concerned. And another and very important point is that because of irrigation, faulty irrigation practices, faulty or what we can say imbalanced use of a chemical fertilizer. Then another and very important thing, the agricultural lands are going under urbanization or the industrialization, because of which the quality of the land available and the water available, quantum as well as the quality, both are the problem. So environmental or sustainability issues are the problem. And as we know, there is a lack of infrastructure throughout the value chain. Basically, you see when the farmer produces in certain hilly areas, up to Nashik, we have the tribal areas, basically where the farmer grow the vegetables or the fruits. It's very, very difficult for them to bring it to the market available. Suppose they wanted to bring it to the cosmopolitan cities like Pune, Mumbai, it's very, very difficult for them because transportation facility is not available. If agriculture, we know that whatever we produce, it's all perishable products. We cannot store it. If we have to store it, we need to have the chain of cold storage structures, and which is not possible unless and otherwise there is a support from the government. Whenever the people come together, you might be knowing the story of a Sahyadri farm, Sahyadri farmer producing company. See, Mr. Vilas Sindhe is my junior only from my same college. Actually, this type of people, they should come forward. They should come ahead. And actually, they need to found the farmer producing companies, which will take care of the problems, care of the difficulties, care of the whatever the situation with the farmers, and the people who come together and do it, they only will survive in the future. So friends, what possibilities are there? Whether we can increase the cultivable land, it's very, very difficult. In Maharashtra, if we see out of 307 lakh hectares of the geographic area, about 225 lakh hectares is the crop area. And out of that, only 18 to 20%, that is about 42 lakh hectares, is the irrigated area. So we cannot increase this. We cannot increase the geographic area or the cultivable area of a particular state or particular country or a particular countries in the globe. So what is, at present, if we see, there is a division of land. So suppose our grandfather was having 50 acres of land, and he has 4 sons. Then it was 12 acres per son. Actually, what we can say, so it was divided. Again, and at present, the situation is that we have only 0.3 hectare. That means 30 area per person. And this land is also going to be divided again and again. The more problem is whether we can increase the quantum of water. Sorry, it is not possible because this is since ages. We can see that in Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj area also, arena also, there was a problem of a shortage of water. There was a problem of droughts. Every now and then, after 3-4 years, we are facing a severe droughts in our state or in our country. At the same time, the more important is that input use efficiency of the agriculture inputs is very, very low. What we can do in this situation, under this scenario, more important is that the viable option or the feasible option, or what we can do by the intervention of the technology, is that we need to increase the use efficiency. We wanted to use these resources. What resources? These all 3 resources, both land, water, and whatever the agriculture inputs we are using, we need to use to its maximum use. And how we can do this, friends? This we can do only with the adoption of the improved agriculture practices, improved agriculture technologies, and that by increasing the use efficiency of whatever input we are using in agriculture. This is what the explosion of a population all over the globe. Population is increasing, at the same time natural resources, they are decreasing. Today we are 7 billion. In 2050, we are going to be 9 billion. So every child which will be coming on the earth has a problem, will be facing a problem of food insufficiency. And this needs to be solved. So for which, you see, water supply, we cannot irrigate like this. As I told you, only 0.4% of the water is available for our consumption. And if we are using the water like this, so friends, what I will be telling it to you, you are seeing the paddy cultivation. Basically, in a paddy, there is a standing water. But you see, these practices are very age-old practices, traditional practice. We need to change that. We, as a Netafim, globally, we have started using the drip irrigation system for the paddy cultivation. You see? And it has been successful. In Tamil Nadu, we have covered about 700 hectares of area under this drip irrigation for the paddy croppers. Friends, arable land is decreasing. As I said, only 29% of the earth's surface is the land. And out of that, the 10% is only arable land, which we can cultivate. So friends, food prices, because of all this, food prices are going up, and they will be going up and up. So it becomes a real issue in real time. This is a very severe problem. And so limited arable land is there, limited freshwater source, food, fuel, feed, fiber competition. Friends, this is very important. You see, there is a competition for the food by fuel. Now we are thinking about the biodiesel, biofuels, and this will again add load on our production. So feed and fiber competition is also there. Climate change, this is very, very serious. Because of this year also, during this rainy season, we are facing severe problems of floods in Satara, Sangli, Kolhapur district, as well as some parts of the Konkan, and in different parts of the country also. So these are the examples of the climate change, global warming. If the temperature of the earth is increased by 1 degree Celsius, there is going to be a decrease in water table by 1 meter. Friends, listen well. This is very, very important. So availability of the water, without water, we cannot think of. Water, we call it as a life for everybody, for every living organism, for every living plant, whether it is a plant or animal. So friends, we have to be very careful. So in this situation, drip irrigation is the best solution. By far, it is the best solution, friends. Drip irrigation is the best solution with the reason to increase the productivity. That is one. The increase the productivity means increasing the yield. Not only increasing the yield, but the quality is also very, very important. And we need to do it consistently. How we can do it consistently? Because we really wanted to increase the productivity, but not with increasing the cost. We really wanted to reduce the relative cost. That's very important. So reduction in the cost is very important. And you see, we have very tremendous scope for that. You see, how we can do this? We need to increase the farm productivity, and for which farm mechanization is very important. We need to have the mechanization, optimum utilization of the resources. That is also important. Addressing the agri-input constraints, judicious use of the scarce resources, use of advanced or modern agriculture practices, reducing the burden on groundwater. That's very, very important. If you reduce the burden on groundwater, what will happen? The groundwater recharging will take place. It will make the water available throughout the year. And for this, what we need to do? We need to do the rainwater harvesting. And this can be done by adoption of the smart soil and water conservation structures, adoption of the soil and water management measures. Community irrigation is another fight. The people need to come together. People have to adequate, or what we can say, equitable distribution of water. And for which smart irrigation solution needs to be adopted. Friends, important is that whatever the technology we develop in the universities, in the agriculture colleges or the research centers or the KVK, we need to extend this technology for the benefit of the farmers in their fields. Now in their fields, how we can do this? The TOT is important, technology transfer of technology. This is very, very important. Basically, dissemination of this technology through extension program, through training program, through teaching programs, like what we are doing today. Yes. So infrastructure support is also very, very important. So we need to provide, the government needs to provide the support to the farmers. And private-public partnership is very, very important. Friends, so micro irrigation, what does it do? It saves huge quantity of water, then power, then fertilizers, and more important is the labor. Labor saving is very, very important. And friends, whatever we get a very good yield. Whether it's of fruits, whether it's of vegetables, whether it's of cereals, pulses, whatever we grow under drip irrigation. So we get a more yield. And important is that we get the best quality and consistently. Sustainability is very important. So more yield per less resources. That is what the objective. So what is the concept of drip irrigation? Is irrigating and fertigating every plant exactly at the root zone of the crop. So it's a precise amount of water and fertilizer delivered exactly at the root zone of the crop. So friends, the goal is, the objective is, the aim is, or final means what we really wanted to achieve is that to irrigate the plant, to fertigate the plant, and not the soil. Because soil is the medium in which you grow the crop. Yes, soil is important. Soil's fertility and productivity is important. But what's more important? The plant or a tree or a crop which we are growing in that type of a soil. So we need to irrigate and fertigate the plant, every plant. So friend, drip irrigation is the solution. Although it is a small company, it is important, it is responsible for making great revolution. You see, great revolution. Actually, whatever the evolution is possible in agriculture is only through drip irrigation, because we really wanted to save on the resources and increasing the productivity per unit of resource, whatever it is. So friends, drip enables farmers to achieve the higher productivity. Not only the productivity, important is that their total income as well as the net profits goes up. How we can do this? This we can do by delivering the water, nutrients, and fertilizers exactly at the right place, in the right quantity, whenever required, frequently, without any wastage. So no wastage. So increasing the efficiency means what? In a simple terms, I will be telling you, my friends, it is output divided by input. So a person is efficient when you can say with a minimum inputs gives the better results. So if the technology is efficient means that with a minimum cost involvement, it gives the highest returns to the end user, whether it's a farmer or whether it's any beneficiary or the stakeholder. So friends, drip irrigation is such a solution. So drip irrigation layout here I was shown, it is divided into mainly three parts. One is the head unit, second is the distribution system, and third is the drip manifold. In head unit, we have the water source where from water we are lifting with the electric motor and pump set. That water goes to the filtration unit for filtration. Then it improves the nutrients, and for that purpose, there is a dosing unit. Then filtered water with fertilizers dissolved in the water, it goes to the main line, then it goes to the submain, then it goes to the drip line. For example, if there are trees, suppose mango trees are there, guava trees are there, at a certain, the row to row spacing and plant to plant spacing is more. In that case, we use the drip lines, laterals. On that laterals, we are fixing the drippers at a certain spacing, depending upon the spacing of the trees, right? And number of drippers will depend upon its peak water requirement. In some of the crops, which are row crops, close growing crop like sugarcane, like vegetables, like cotton, we use the inline drip irrigation system. In the lateral itself, the drippers are fixed inside. So we are the pre-spacing, we have fixed the drippers at a pre-decided spacing. So that is the drip line. Friends, this is what the layout of the drip irrigation system is. Netafim Irrigation basically what's number one company. What we are doing, we are providing the end-to-end solution to our farm. So starting from means what we can say, we are doing the survey, we are preparing the design, we are preparing the BOQ, then we are giving the quotation to the farmer, we are discussing with him agronomical points, what is your soil type, what should be the layout, what should be the crop spacing, and then based on that, we provide the drip irrigation system, we install it, we give the training to the farmer how to operate the drip irrigation system, how much quantity of water, how much fertilizers, when it should be applied, in what quantity they should be applied, how effectively they should be applied, and we give the, it's not only that, it's from water source till the plant roots. So it is till getting a highest productivity and maximizing the profits to the farmer. It's not only by conventional methods. Suppose for 1 acre, 2 acre, 5 acres, we can do like that. But a farmer, suppose he has a 10 acres of farm, 20 acres, 25 acres, 50 acres, 100 acres, 200 acres, or people coming together, they're doing the joint farming, they're going for the community farming. In that case, what we do, we ask them to go for this automation, or we call it as a digital farming solution. So we provide them the automation as far as electric motor and pump side, the walls, and everything basically. So what we do normally, you see, normally what we do, we provide end-to-end solution, the precision irrigation solution for the farmer. That's very, very important. Friends, most important part in a drip irrigation system is a dripper. Most important part in a drip irrigation system is a dripper, because all other components in the drip irrigation system, what they used to do, filtration, it will filter the water, then main lines, then sub-main lines, then laterals, they will only convey the water from one to another. But the dripper is the most important or crucial component of the drip irrigation system. What it does, it brings the water and nutrients exactly at the root zone of the crop, and it is responsible for the growth of a plant or a tree. Responsible for increasing the productivity of the tree or particular crop. So dripper, and Netafim has always taken a lead. Netafim is always a proactive, basically in the development of the drippers. The purpose is that we need to irrigate the fields actually uniformly. Exactly the same quantity of water and nutrients should be supplied to every plant. And for that purpose, we started in year 1965. So 56 years have been passed. For last 56 years, we are working on development of the drippers. In 1965, we developed the first prototype laminar dripper. I told it to you. Then we have developed the inline turbulent dripper, the turbulent technology, PC drippers, button drippers, typhoon drippers, ram drippers, streamline drippers. And you see, in 2017, we have given the Typhoon Plus. IRIS is the technology we developed in year 2012. It is a patented technology. Nobody can copy it. We have developed in 2012. For next 20 years, it is a patented technology. Nobody other can copy it. So drippers are very important. Netafim puts its attention. Netafim is always striving hard to develop the best quality dripper for the benefit of the farming community all over the globe. We are working in more than 114 countries. You see, it's not only for India. It's for India, China, or all developed countries. And it's for all type of crops, including paddy also. So there is no crop left on the earth's surface which cannot be irrigated with the drip irrigation or the Netafim drip irrigation. Friends, we are the filters in that. We are the secondary filter, primary filters. Then we are the then dosing units. We are the 31, 40K. Then this sensors we are. Then we are the controllers like NMC Pro, NMC Junior. The software, yes, we are managing with the different type of softwares. Yes. Other important components like walls, fittings, and most important is the PVC pipes for the mains and sub-mains. In a sprinkler irrigation or the micro sprinkler or the mini sprinkler, We have cool net, then gyro net, mega net, spin net. So these are the different components of the drip irrigation system. So as I told you, most important is the net of drippers. We have three types of dripper: online drippers, integral or inline drippers we call it, and other type of drippers like a cabinet and arrow drippers. In online, we have two types. In inline also, we have two types. One is the standard, that is a button drippers. Another is the PC drippers or the pressure competitive dripper. Friends, what I really wanted to tell it to you here, the pressure competitive dripper, these are very important when we have to irrigate on undulating area. Undulating area, suppose when we have to irrigate and give the irrigation and fertigation uniformly to all the crops in the field, then we have to go for this PC drippers, what we can say, right? Then another is that, you see, Aries drip line. Regarding the Aries drip line, I will be telling you, it is a full length, means basically it is made from what? Injection molded drippers are there. It is made from the high quality LLDPE material. Then we have the dripper here. That dripper is a, means what we can say, is a world quality dripper. This is the best dripper available in the industry. And although we get the water filter, but till then we have the filter for every individual drip. So industry's widest flow path is there. Injection molded drippers are this, and because of the filter, any dirt particle will not be entering in the flow path. Suppose it happens, then we have the Turbinex technology. Turbinex means what? Basically, turbulence of the flow is created, because of which any dirt particle which has entered into the flow path will be attracted towards the water, and it will be flown away with the water very easily. So because of which there will not be clogging, there will not be choking, there will not be blockage of the drippers. And you see, dripper being a most important component of the drip irrigation system, if dripper's life is increased, that means the life of the drip irrigation system itself increases. Then we have another type of dripper like a drip net PC. Whenever there is ups and downs in the field, the lines are undulating lines, right? In that case, in order to have the uniform distribution of water in the low-lying area as well as high-level area, so we need to use this pressure competitive dripper. What is the purpose of pressure competitive dripper? That is to have the uniformity, basically in water distribution, because of which there will be uniform growth of the crop, and because of which you will be getting a better quality product. So in this case, there is a diaphragm arrangement. When the pressure increases, the diaphragm will go down. It will be giving the same quantity of water. When the pressure decreases, the diaphragm will go up. It will be again giving the same quantity. Friends, this is what the latest technology which we are adopting. There are another type of dripper, that is a PCJ drippers, we call it as. We call another drippers, that is arrow drippers basically. Arrow drippers, that angle model as well as straight model. Then in filters, basically, we have two types of filter. One is the gravel filter and another is the hydrocyclone filter in case of a primary filter. What's the purpose of a gravel filter? So whatever dirt is, whatever the physical impurities are there, if the algae is there in the water, that needs to be separated. And the clean water has to go ahead in the drip irrigation system. Then there is another type of filter, hydrocyclone filter. So what happens in many of the cases, what happens in a borewells, if there are deep borewells, 500 feet, 600 feet, in that case, the certain lower soil strata is like a sand particles, small or tiny sand particles. Those sand particles will come with the water and they will be clogging or they will be blocking the drippers. In order to avoid that, we have the hydrocyclone filter which we are using. It works on the centrifugal force. In secondary filter, we have the screen or disc filter. Out of this, we use the disc filter. Basically, in a gravel filter, you see this is the cross section of the gravel filter. We have the inlet, we have the outlet, and there are mushroom filters inside. And basically, you see gravel which you are using is the pointed gravels, because of which all the dirt particles will be getting stuck and will be separated because of the backflushing of the water. If we really wanted to increase the capacity of gravel filter, we can arrange this gravel filter in a battery. Means we can increase number of gravel filters, because of which the capacity of the gravel filtration will be increased. Instead of screen filter, as I told you, we need to always go for the disc filter. But disc filters are good, because why they are good? Because there are the discs like this, and the intersection of this, the overlapping of this, what will happen? The efficiency of the filtration in a disc filter is as high as 26 times than the screen filter. So we always recommend it. I always recommend, NetApp always recommends to go for this filter rather than the screen filters. Friends, we are not only applying the water, but most important is that we are applying the fertilizer also to the crop. So for applying the fertilizers, for giving the fertigation, or for doing the nutrition, the three important prerequisites are to be taken into consideration before using any type of fertilizer. So first and foremost is that whatever the fertilizer you use, the water soluble, solid soluble fertilizer, it should be 100% soluble in the water. This is a very, very important. Otherwise, what will happen? Some of the precipitates, some of the solid particles, they will be responsible for the blockage of the filters, blockage of the drippers. It is going to affect the system. Second and most important is that there should not be formation of the precipitates like chloride, like sulfate, like this what we can say carbonate. It should not be formed. Okay. And third is important. It should not be hazardous. It should not be harmful to any part of the drip irrigation system as such. Okay. So these are the three prerequisites. The another and very important is that whatever the fertilizer you are selecting. For example, I will be telling it to friends you might be knowing N, P, K, Fe, Mn, Zn, or calcium, magnesium, sulfur. These are all nutrients. So content of this nutrient should be highest in a fertilizer which you are selecting. For example, I will be telling you urea, as we know, it contains 46% of the nitrogen. There is no other fertilizer which contains as high as nitrogen content in case of a urea, right? For example, muriate of potash. Muriate of potash, you see, there is 60% of the potash in a MOP or KCl, we call it as, right? So we should select that type of fertilizer. It should be fully soluble at a field temperature. First dissolution of irrigation water is required. It should be fine grade, flowable, no clogging of the filters and drippers, minimum content of the conditioning agent, compatible with the other fertilizer. This is very important. When we are adding one fertilizer to other, they should not form any precipitates, which will be responsible for the blockage of the drippers. Should not form. No drastic change in the pH of the water, because you see, certain pH range allows the nutrients in the soil to be absorbed more efficiently by the plant, right? Low corrosivity of the control head and system. Yeah. So these are the requirements. And friends, for application of this fertilizer, we use different techniques. We use different equipment. So which are those equipment? First is the fertilizer tank. In a fertilizer tank, what we do? We make a solution in a tank itself. And because of a suction, that solution is passed through drip irrigation system. Then another equipment which we are using is Venturi injector. Venturi injector is a very good. Basically, here what you do, you prepare the solution of the fertilizer, which is 100% soluble in a tank or in a container. And then because of a, what we can say, because of a suction, we are injecting this fertilizer solution in a drip irrigation system, and it is being given to the each plant or each tree in our area which we are irrigating or fertigating. Other equipments we can use the fertilizer injection pumps. Yes, other means other equipments like hydraulic, electrical pumps, that also we are using means for more area. Yes. Then we have the Venturi injector. Basically, Venturi injector is of two types. One is a 3x4 Venturi, what we call it as. Another is a 2-inch Venturi. Means it will, the selection of the Venturi will depend upon the capacity of the Venturi will depend upon how much area you are fertigating at one time. Suppose it's a smaller proportion, you are required a smaller discharge, we are required up to 150 liters per hour. Then you can go for the 3x4 inch Venturi. If it's a more, means 1000 or 1200 liters per hour, you can go for the 2-inch Venturi. Friends, it's not only the surface drip irrigation, but we can go for the subsurface drip irrigation as. This is a technology which has been developed by the Netafim. This is a technology which we have developed by the Netafim. So actually what we do, you see, in this technology, we are placing the drip irrigation laterals exactly 4 to 6 inches deep, right? And we are now, the concept of the drip irrigation was that we are delivering the water and nutrients exactly at the root zone of the top. But in subsurface drip irrigation system, we are giving the water and nutrients in the vicinity, or what we can say in the vicinity of the roots, basically, right? So because of this, what happens? We get a upper surface becomes a dry. Because of which there will be less weed growth, less evaporation. The efficient use of the water and fertilizer, both the cases, it will happen. Use efficiency of the both water and nutrients will be increased. And important is that mechanization of the field, like crop in a sugarcane or like any other crop. So whatever the practices, means starting from planting, interculturing, then harvesting, all these operations can be done mechanically. So labor problems can be solved. And important is that the drip irrigation system will not be damaged by mechanically or by animals or by human beings. That is very important. Another case is it can be, as I said, it can be installed 4 to 6 inches deep into the soil, and it will be giving the water and fertilizers exactly in the root zone of the plant. Okay. So you see, now it's the irrigation by surface drip irrigation or the subsurface drip irrigation. But more important is not the only water, but we have to give the nutrients also. So we need to go for the fertigation technique. Why for the fertigation? Fertigation is for maximum crop and soil productivity. So we need to get the higher yields of the best quality. Then all type of soil, that is the marginal soils, that's the sandy soils, rocky soils, shallow soils, or the salt applied soils, all these type of soils can be brought under cultivation effectively with the drip irrigation technology. Most important is the fertilizer use efficiency needs to be increased. How we can do this? We can do this by accurate and uniform application of the fertilizers uniformly throughout the field. Most important is the concentrations are kept continuous. I mean, what we can say, the amounts and concentration of the nutrients as per the need of the plant, as per the climatic condition, that we can do effectively with this fertigation technique. It increases the availability of the nutrients to the crop. So what's available is very important. Otherwise, what happens, many of the times our soils are rich in the nutrients, but they are not making the nutrients available to the plant. So uptake of the nutrients, absorption of the nutrient is very important. How we can do this? By fertigation, yes, its efficiency, its availability to the plant will be increased. Another important is that heat losses because of the leaching or the volatilization, they are reduced. And most important is that minimizing the production cost and maximizing the net profit is the advantage of the fertigation technique. If you see, in case of a different irrigation practices, what we are using, the farmers are using. As far as main nutrients are considered, he has NPK, this is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, right? So if you apply these new fertilizers by soil application, its efficiency in case of nitrogen will be hardly 30 to 50%, in phosphorus 20%, in potassium 50%. But we are using the drip irrigation system by which we are giving the irrigation. And if you are using the soil application or hand application, then what will happen? In drip, the efficiency will go up to 65%. In phosphorus, it will go only to 30%. In potassium, it will go to 60%. But if we use the fertigation technique, if we use the nutrition technique, and what will happen? The fertilizer use efficiency in case of the nitrogen, it will go as high as 95%. It will be 3 times as compared to conventional irrigation. Phosphorus, it will be 2.5 times, 45 to 50%. In potassium, it goes to 50 to 80%. So friends, what I really wanted to tell it to you. Why it happens? Because in the surface irrigation, leaching of the nutrient takes place beyond the root zone of the crop. In case of drip irrigation, what happens? If you are using the drip irrigation for the water application, but you are giving the fertilizers manually, then what will happen? Or through soil application, what will happen? There will be localized application of the fertilizers. But in drip fertigation, where the water and the fertilizers, they go together as a fertilizer solution, then what will happen? The fertilizers or the nutrients will be sprayed uniformly in the entire root zone of a crop. And you see where the fresh fruit roots, or we can say white roots, which are efficient roots, if the nutrients are available nearby, they will be, what we can say, they will be lifted, they will be uptaken, they will be absorbed by the plant very efficiently, and there will be very good growth of a crop. I've given here certain examples. These are the different crops like capsicum, chili, brinjal, cauliflower, cabbage, cucumber, okra, onion, sugarcane, tomato, papaya. So in this type of crops, different crops, you see, for producing 1 ton of the production, suppose we wanted to take the 1 ton of the yield of a capsicum, and for which the plant absorbs about 5 kg of the nitrogen, 2 kg of phosphorus, and 6 kg of potash from the site. You see, unless or otherwise this quantity of nutrients are available to the plant will not be able to produce 1 ton of a capsicum. If we have to get 20 tons, 30 tons, 40 tons, then we have to have the availability of these nutrients in this proportion. But it entirely depends upon which fertilizer you are using, which type of soil it is, what is the use efficiency, and based on that, the yield and the nutrient uptake will be varying. So this is for different crops. I have given it here. And why this is important? This is important from the fertigation settling point of view. Yes, friends. Now, with this drip irrigation, now the most important concept is of a digital farm. What is meant by digital farming, friends? Digital farming, as we have seen in the drip irrigation system, the water and nutrients we are applying at the root zone of the crop drip irrigation system. This is fine. This is for increasing the productivity and maximizing the profitability to the farm. But most important thing which we need to understand is that actually I said that what is the purpose of a Netafim is to grow more with less. But now with the digital farming solution, our purpose is that enabling the growers, enabling the cultivators, enabling the farmers to grow much more with much less. Much more with much less. So increase the efficiency to the maximum possible extent. How we can do this? Because digital farming solution helps the farmers. In what? In decision making. We really wanted to increase the value increase the value or delivering the more value per unit area, per acre or per hectare. How we can do this? By getting high productivity with a less cost, because of which higher profits, clean and safe yield environment. This is very important. Clean and safe yield improvement program. And more important is the better functionality and use to the farmer. This is very important. Friends, what we can automate? We can automate motor. We can have the open and close, means basically pump set, we can say. Walls, yes, we have the different, suppose in a field, suppose there is 10 acres of farm, and we have the wall for 2 acres, then another 2 acres, another 2 acres, suppose there are 5 walls. Then operating these walls, opening and closing of these walls, we can do it automatically. Filter flushing is this is very important. Depending upon the quality of water, the filters need to be flushed periodically in order to supply the clean, dirt-free, dust-free water to the system, and we can do the backflushing of this. And the backflushing, its frequency entirely depends upon the water quality. And this filter flushing can be automated with a digital farmer. EC and pH control, this is very important. Electrical conductivity and pH. pH is very important. It should be in the range of 6 to 7.5 or 5.5 to 7.5. If it is more than that, the uptake of the nutrients will be retarded, and because of which you will not be getting a good productivity. So EC and pH control. So monitoring of the EC and controlling the pH is possible with the digital farming. We have the sensor based, basically humidity, temperature, and moisture based sensors are available. So based on these sensors, real-time analysis, and we can apply the water and nutrients exactly, more precisely to the crop. Remote access is possible. This is very, very good. So you can see and operate. I mean, suppose you have the smart mobile, and if the internet connectivity, today you are there suppose in farmer is from Nashik or the Satana or the Malega, then what will happen? Tomorrow he is in Delhi, day after tomorrow he is in Mumbai, day after tomorrow he has gone to America or Australia. Then also he will be able to see what is happening in his field, whether the irrigation is given, whether the fertilizers are given, and what is the situation of the crop, what is the situation of the plant, what is the situation of entire operation of the system in his field. So he can see on the smart mobile or the iPad or the desktop. So it is the information is available on the palm of the hands. So basically remote access is possible, support is possible. Then data logging, every now and then whatever is happening in the field will be recorded. How much quantity of water, how much nutrient to which field, to which wall has been added. So continuous monitoring is possible. So real-time monitoring is an advantage of the digital farming solution. Friends, it gives what? It gives accurate irrigation and fertigation. Long-term cost reduction is possible. Precise water and fertilizer management. We get a produce, highest produce, but that is of a good quality, cost-effective and efficient, saving water, energy, fertilizers, optimize time, that's very important. Optimize energy, that is also very important. Reduces the labor cost, because labor we are not requiring. We are not requiring a labor to irrigate. We are not requiring a labor to fertigate. Basically, yes, it can be automatically done. Hassle-free operations are possible. Flexible schedule management, data analysis and decision making is very much possible with the digital farming solution. Easy, large-scale management. Suppose farmer has a 50 acre, 100 acre, 200 acres of land. It's very, very difficult for him to manage with the labors. So labor management is eliminated, and because of this, there is a peace of mind to the farmer at the end of the day. Why? Because he gets the increased return on investment, ROI, what we call it as. It will be increased because of the digital farm. Friends, it is for all, automation for all, for flushing, for walls, for pump set, for fertigation, for walls. You see, here I have given the simple example. Suppose a farmer has a 10 acres of land and he is growing vegetables. and he has 5 walls in his field. And we know electricity is available for 8 hours to 12 hours maximum in a day in rural area where the agriculture is the main profession. So that case, what happens? Suppose the rain comes in the night. Suppose it comes at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. It will be there up to 8 o'clock in the morning. So farmer, it's very difficult for the farmer. Suppose the drip irrigation system works on a 2 acres of land. If the light comes, the system will be on. But after 2 hours, he has to change the wall. He has to close first wall and start the second wall. How he can do it? Manually, it's very, very difficult during the night hours. Right? So if there is automation, then whenever the electricity is available, the irrigation operation, thereby starting second wall and closing first wall, then after 2 hours, starting third wall and closing second wall, after fourth, that is operating fourth and stopping this third wall. So this will be continued automatically. So digital farming solution helps in a farmer in ease of operation. That's very important. So this type of walls, like a solenoid walls, we are using. So which are the components? Basically, we have the controllers. The size of the controllers will depend upon the area which you are optimizing. Then dosing units, so fertilizer basically. Then we have the accessories like water meter, electric valves or solenoid valves we call as. Safety equipments are there and sensors like temperature sensors, humidity sensor, moisture sensors. So friends, based on the need, which type of controller, how much area, nutrition, which type of, means how accurate, how uniform, how delicate your plants are. Based on that, we can do this. Interface, this is a very important from the management point of view. Sensors we are using, analytics, this is very important. Friends, in a digital farming solution, as I said to you, the Netafim is the first company who has invented a drip irrigation system for the community of the farmers in a globe. Okay. Likewise, in 2018, in agriculture exhibition held at Israel, every 3 years there is an agri-tech exhibition. Israel, it's a world-class exhibition, and displaying all the latest technologies happening or whatever happening in the globe, and mostly from Israel. So in 2018, in April 2018, we have launched this NetBeat technology, like a heartbeat node, which gives us a health situation of an individual. Likewise, NetBeat gives the crop situation. It's the first irrigation system with the brain, and the next revolution in agriculture. The first revolution actually that happened by increasing the productivity because of the hybrid varieties and all that. So this is going to be second revolution in which what we can do all the operations. It's a real-time monitoring, planning, and control. All these operations we can do in a single loop. So monitor, analyze, and control. Yes, it's the first irrigation system with a brain. So these are the basically we are the field units and farmer app, then agronomic and hydraulic knowledge and cloud solution. How NetBeat works basically, we will be getting this information through remote control unit or RTUs basically through the main control unit. Then we can have the third-party data integration because of the cloud-based technology. And based on that information, the signal will be given by MCU to operate the valve, and accordingly irrigation, accordingly fertigation will be started. So friends, there are 5 most important innovations of the net. First and foremost is all-in-one. We have the closed loop platform, basically single closed loop platform, in which we can have the real-time monitoring, smart analysis, and control. That is possible. The second and most important is that we are given the strongest brain power to this solution. How? Because dynamic crop models are developed for irrigation and fertigation. Based on what? Based on 50 years of experience and advanced analysis. This is very important because this is an old company. It's not a new company. It's not in a trading. It's not only for supplying the drip irrigation material. We provide the technology to the farming community by which his productivity has to go, his net profit has to go, and he gets a peace of mind at the end of the day. So strong brain power has been provided to this technology. Cloud technology allows the third-party data integration, as I said, remote access support and updates are possible. Right? It's a simple and intuitive, user-friendly, customer-centric, and whatever the information you wanted to see, operate, change, transfer is on the palm of your hands. It's so easy. And last one is S for all, smart irrigation for all. With a small farmer, medium farmer, a big farmer, or whether the farmers are coming together and doing the community irrigation, then also it is possible. User friendly, basically, we get a clear dashboard, simple interface to build and manage irrigation programs. Then we have the map overview of the field, the alerts and recommendation. In the controllers, as I said earlier, we can use different sizes of controller based on what? Based on the area which is to be monitored. Suppose it's a lesser area, we can go for the net MCU1, and if it is a big area, we can go for the MC. So these are the different. In dosing machine, basically to apply the fertilizers, water soluble fertilizers or solid soluble fertilizers most efficiently, uniformly, accurately throughout the field. Then we have different dosing units like 41 having a single venturi channel. Then we have the Fertikit, more than one channel, the Netagite, Netaflex. So depending upon the accuracy you wanted, depending upon the delicate plants, depending upon the whether it is an open field cultivation or protected cultivation, based on that we can select the dosing unit. Friend, this is how it looks. This is the irrigation or the fertigation room, you can say, in which you can see the primary and secondary filtration. There is a controller, there is a venturi, and basically there is a fertigate is there. Then we have the different tanks for storing this main fertilizers as well as secondary nutrients. There is calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Primary or primary nutrients like NPK. We can have the another tank for the micronutrients. Another tank for controlling the pH, that is of acid. So it depends actually how many tanks you wanted, how you can select, you wanted to select and run the system. So this is how the fertigation or irrigation rule. It is for the simple farmer. You see, if he has 4 main lines and water he is diverting to the 4 different parts, then we have the controller, then we have the venturi system. This is a very simple. Basically, a farmer wanted to have the administration for the smaller area. So this type of a simple digital farming we can use. Friends, what's more important is that you see. Here you can see one video in which you will come to know how this simple farmer in Satara district have changed entire scenario because of the digital farming solutions. So friends, what's more important from this video is that you see, the farmer who was earning about 10 lakhs per hectare from his farm, so he has started getting 50 lakhs from his farm. This is what the transformation, this is what the change, this is what the revolution because of digital farming solution. Why? Because this is the uniform and accurate application of the nutrients and fertilizer exactly as per the requirement of the crop, exactly at the root zone of the crop, without any stress, neither water nor nutrients nor air. So what we can say, the congenial conditions are maintained throughout the untogen of the crop because of there is higher productivity. And this is what the advantage of the derivation. Many of the farmers, you see, you might be knowing that many of the people know who are professionals, like they're advocates, they're IT professionals. Yes, they are in the cities, but the agriculture is not looked after in a rural part. So what they have done, they have installed this digital farming solution, because of which they have become the Sunday farmers or the urban farmers, we can say. Because of this automation, they are able to monitor what is happening in their field. And because of which they are getting high productivity. Not only automation, but we are working in the projects also. As you know, because we are lifting the water, bringing it to the main delivery chamber and delivering it to the different fields by gravity. But this has been changed. We can do it through drip irrigation by bringing the people together. The first project of this type was done with the 350 farmers on 608 acres of land. We call it as the first community project in Asia. That was done at Godkindi village in Walwa Tehsil of Sangli district in the operational area of a Rajaram Bapu sugar mill. Major crop was sugar. So because of this, what happens? The productivity has gone from 30 to 40 tons per acre to 60 to 70 tons, almost double. Regular irrigation with the SMS update. Means for an individual farmer, the SMS goes, okay, your irrigation turn has come, the system will be on for 2 hours and then automatically it will close. So every day farmer gets the irrigation. Automated walls are there for irrigation cycle. And important is that depending upon the farmer's requirement, we have provided a nutrition facility for every farm. Because based on its type of a crop, age of the crop, you will be requiring different fertigation settings. So that we have provided. Another very important project which we have completed in Bagalkot district of Hungun, Bagalkot district in Karnataka. This is the project of 390 crores by government of Karnataka, 100% funded by government of Karnataka. Here, 6,700 farmers came together. And entire 11,700 hectares, almost 30,000 acres of land, with varied crops like cotton, maize, sunflower, different crops, all type of crops. They were grown by providing the community irrigation and the equitable distribution of water to these farms. Friends, we are doing this canal, this project work on the canals. So in South India, we're handling lakhs of acres together, 100 irrigation systems, with 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh hectares, and the different crops by this automation or digital farming solution. We provide end-to-end solution, right? Then with the drip irrigation, we have created so many success stories. Simple success stories, I will be telling it with you. Netapim has done it. So this is the farmer actually. This is the Mr. I can say Balaji Tupe. He is from Selgaon, from Fulambri Tehsil of Aurangabad district. He has got 178 quintals of ginger. From how much area? From 22 R. So friend, it is the income from 22 R, that is half an acre, is 5,51,800 rupees. So this is possible. You see the ginger, how it has grown. Here's the double drip line he has used. Then another farmer, Mr. Shankar Mal from Aurangabad district, he has grown about 35 quintals of maize and he has got about 60,000 rupees per acre. The sugarcane, average productivity of the sugarcane in Maharashtra is about 34 to 35 tons per acre. But this farmer, we have adopted the drip irrigation system from Netapim. We have provided him the agronomical support, process support, and we have given him the technology by which he has harnessed 128.5 tons. And here previous yield is a good farmer. His previous yield was 70 tons. So how much is almost double? And he got about 3,21,000 from 1 acre of land. This is another farmer, Mr. Dhananjay Atole, who has installed our digital farming or automation. And from 1 acre of the onion, he got the yield of 21 tons and got the total income of 5,25,000. This is another farmer who has increased his productivity in banana, Mr. Sanjay Kadam from Kiradwangi from Kadegaon Tehsil in Sangli district. So he has increased his banana yield from 20 tons to 42 tons. More than double. You see, for 22, 42 tons. And he got about 3,50,000 from his 1 acre of farm. Then we have not created the stories only in Maharashtra, but we have created in UP and different parts of the country as. So for sugarcane, if you see, friends, in sugarcane, what we have done, this is a farmer who has grown the sugarcane. Actually, his net profit from 1 acre of land was about 66,000 conventional irrigation, but it is almost double, 1,25,000. Then there is another farmer. We are giving the drip irrigation. Actually, under drip irrigation in sugarcane in the UP, what we are recommending, basically, we insisted farmers, we created an awareness to increase the spacing between the two rows. We gave them the technology of using the seedlings, then drip irrigation, fertigation, And because of which their productivity has increased to such a great extent. Here you can see how clean the farming. Internodes, the length of internodes, girth of internodes, you'll find same everywhere. And because of trash mulching, there are no weeds in this farm. This is another clean farm. You see this farm also. There is no lodging, nothing is there. Because of good irrigation and fertigation, see how the crop is. Uniform growth of the farm. This is not only for sugarcane, we have done it for potato also. We have developed the bed system, then installed the drip irrigation system for that. Then we have got very good crop, very good productivity. We have shown it to different farmers as well as the government officials for providing the subsidy for drip irrigation system. Not only sugarcane or the potato or any other crop, but chili also. Yes, in vegetables, we are doing it good with the mulching. See how the production is. Tremendous production we were getting. Best quality production and best prices from the market. It is for intercropping also. In sugarcane, people have taken different crop like brinjal, then chili. You see, so we are providing the drip irrigation system for that. Because of it, the farmer gets profit out of these two crops. One is from intercrop, because of which he can spend down the cost of cultivation of the sugarcane. And when he gets the sugarcane price, that time it's a net profit to. It's in a polyhouses, greenhouses for Jarbera plantation, carnation plantation, roses. Yes, we are the foggers, we are the mini sprinklers, we can use that. If automation is done, the fantastic results what we are getting. Friend, this is another farmer from UP, from Ramgarh. Actually, he got about 84,000 under conventional irrigation for cultivation of this. But when he used the drip irrigation, he got 1,66,000 under 1 acre. So almost double. This I have told it to you, sugarcane. So friends, yes, means we are the projects, we are the automation, we are the digital farming solution, we are the different drip irrigation system, and we have created so many success stories. With this, you might be clear that, you see, you might be clear that the micro irrigation industry is increasing in India, in Maharashtra also, in different parts of the country also. Why? Because that is a need of an hour. We need to apply the nutrients and water more precisely, more scientifically, more economically, and wanted to increase the use of pesticides. And finally, the net income to the farm. With this objective, we have done this. Micro irrigation is increasing. The government is taking a lead. You might be knowing that our Prime Minister, through PMKSY, the Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana, through this scheme, they are providing the funds for this project. And our potential, basically, if you see, or as I said, about gross crop area is 59%, irrigated area is 44%, gross irrigated is 45%. So we have tremendous scope for bringing this entire area under micro irrigation, either sprinkler or drip irrigation. And as I said, the drip irrigation, if you see in a crops, the plantation crops, it's hardly 3 million hectare, but in cotton is about 7 million hectare. This is how the area is. So potential, basically, out of 69 million hectares, hardly 10% area is covered. So 90% area is still to be brought under sprinkler irrigation or the drip irrigation. As far as the drip irrigation potential, if we consider it is 27 million hectares, of which around 10% is covered and 90% is remaining. So friends, drivers are, our population is increasing, food requirement is increasing. In 1965, it was hardly 0.44, means 44 crore population. But in 2050, it is going to be 160 to 170 crores. The requirement of the food will be increased. It will go up by up to 450 million metric tons in 2050. So we need to feed this population, for which we need to increase the food production. And food production can be only increased, but not by increasing the land, but only by increasing the utility or efficiency of these inputs. So friends, if you see that in 2050, we will be requiring about 1,447 billion cubic meters of water, while the water available is only 1,123 billion cubic meters. Means there will be a deficit of 324 billion cubic meters. So if really we need to feed this population, we need to meet their hunger, then drip irrigation is the only solution. Again, the drivers are agricultural labor shortage, it is going to continue. Other agri input constraints are going to be there. Deficient power in rural areas, if you see in agriculture, where the agriculture is a major profession, the power is not available, and most important is the land is shrinking. Shrinking cultivable land means what? The land division is there. The land is going under urbanization, land is going under industrialization, and it is not made available for the agriculture purpose. This what is going to happen? We have to increase the use efficiency of this industry. So key drivers are, in some of the states, you see there is a scarcity of water as well as the foods, and this is going to continue in future also. So micro irrigation industry, yes, it is increasing. The net of irrigation, then other irrigation industries are there, like Jain, Phenolics, and others. So there are about 391 players. Sorry, 193 players. Out of that, drip, there are 12. In sprinklers, there are about 89. Both they are doing 92. You see. So micro irrigation industry is increasing. So what I really wanted to tell it to the students. So you have career opportunities in the micro irrigation industry, in sales, in agronomy, in marketing, design, after sales, CMT, and projects. So we are looking for best quality agriculture and allied graduates. Agriculture business management students are also working in our company. So there is a tremendous potential. There is a tremendous scope. Only thing is that what we expect from you. If you are a sales engineer, what we are expecting, basically we need to do the survey, the installation, then providing support to the farmer. We need to manage internally as well as externally. We need to have a good coordination with the logistic design and marketing team together. Then we have to have the contact with the government officials, then sugar mills, farmers. This needs to be developed. As I'm an agronomist, basically we perform the role of providing the advisory services to the farmer, starting from land preparation till harvesting. Not only the harvesting, but getting the best prices for his harvest. Participate in other marketing activities. We provide the irrigation and fertigation service to the farmers, development of a new crop, development of a new territory, demand driving activities with sales anglers. And more important is that lead speaker in a farmer training program. Friends, if you are, I tell it to you, being a student, we feel that yes, our life is good. But I tell it to you, life is not that easy. I am there in agriculture. I am doing the job for last 35 years. Friends, imagine. Means your age and my experience, I'm working for more than 35 years. So my experience is that life is not that easy. You need to develop yourself. Who is responsible for your growth? You and yourself. What should you do for development? It's a self-learning, self-study. What are my development options? Upgradation of the knowledge, updation of the knowledge, attention, commitment. So very, very important. So who is responsible on my development? Steering is in your hands. You have to decide whether to go ahead, to the left, or to the right. Listen, we are there to support you, but you need to develop yourself. You need to go ahead. You need to update the knowledge. You need to be proactive. You need to dare. You need to make it happen. You need to create an impact. And you need to develop the partners for success. If you do this, then only it is possible. And whether it is possible, yes, it is possible. You can become an MD of a company. Yes, you can become a CFO. You can become a CEO. Yes, everything is possible. You can develop a great businessman. You can develop entrepreneurship. You can become an industrialist. Everybody has a capability and potential. Only thing you need to develop the qualities in you. You need to develop your personality. For micro irrigation industry, yes, you need to have the design of the system, basic agronomical knowledge, guidance for using and maintaining the drip irrigation system, general agriculture advice, farming practice. Therefore, if you have, you are most welcome in our micro irrigation industry. You are compatible with the charts. Adapting with the company's pace. Pace is very important. Company, here you see in a private company, you need to earn your salary. It's not a government organization, nobody is paying you. You need to earn your salary. So what's more important? Speed and pace is important. In a private company, yesterday is a day and yesterday is a past and past is day. Today and tomorrow is important. What you are doing today, what you are going to do tomorrow, what you are going to earn for company, what you are going to do good to the farming community, how you are going to create the differentiation, how you are creating a smiles on the faces of the farmers, and how it results in the business of the company. That's very important. For this, you need to ahead than the farmers. You need to be ahead than the peg. And how you, as you are we are working in agriculture, we need to put our hands in the soil. We need to make it dirty. But friends, This requires a lot of common sense. So you need to have a lot of common sense. Self-confidence is important. Courage is important. Modesty and self-awareness is also important. So what values you need to have? Personality values. You should be proactive. Proactive means you need to take the initiative in every day. You should be accountable. You should be flexible in work. Whatever the work is given to you, you should not say that I will be doing this and I will not be doing this. No, sorry. Whatever work has been assigned to you, whatever work has been delegated to you, designated to you, you need to do it. You have to have flexibility. Creativity in work is very, very important. Should not be doing in a routine matter. Every now and then you should be think about everything, innovative and new ideas. So creativity is very important. Passion is very, very important. So friends, I always tell it to you. What you like, you may not get in the life. But what you get in the life, you can develop the liking in that. And for that, passion is important. Hardship is important. Consistency is important. Concertness is important. So efficiency, if you have, then you can create a wonders in the life. Academic values, yes. MS Office, AutoCAD, irrigation dynamics. You need to have the information about agriculture cropping patterns built on the territories, agronomy basics that we need to have. Because we are there to face the farmers. The farmer is our consumer, farmer is our customer, and we need to satisfy them. For which, what qualities you need to have? Be ambitious. You need to have the certain goals, certain aims, certain objective, certain achievement what you really wanted to do in the life. So that you need to decide. As early as possible, it's very important. Many of the people, they are always confused. They are not able to take a decision. Some of the times we always say that taking a wrong decision also decision. But not taking a decision is a confusing state of mind. And many of the people, they are always puzzled. Should not be the case with you. So you should be ambitious. You should decide your goal. You decide your aim. Be courageous. That's very important. So you should have a daring courage to face the challenge, to do something new, to go out of your comfort zone. Be committed, be professional, be prepared. Prepared means always you should be on your toes. There should be spring under your foot. Engage in continuous learning. Learning is very important. Because if somebody says that I knows everything, right? So he lives in a fools of paradise. It's not the case. You need to continue learning till your last breath. Be responsible. This is very important. Friends, we are a NETAP. If you have these qualities, you are most welcome in agriculture of the market. We, NETAP, basically, we are the inventor of the drip irrigation technology. We are world's #1 smart irrigation solution provider with over 30% of the global market share. So what I really wanted to tell you here, suppose 100 acres of a drip irrigation is being sold globally. Out of the 30 acres is only from one company, that is NETAP. Remaining 70% is by thousands of companies all over the world. So our market share is more. Offerings, basically, we work in irrigation, we work in greenhouse, we work in automation products. This is that. We are the farmers, basically. It's not Deshmukh, Kadam, Patil company. It's by the farmers, for the farmers, of the farmers. So basically, this is by company founded by farmers from an agriculture community. Always we say no, ki need is, but we can say, we do the research. Why do we do the research? Because that's based on the need. So need is the mother of an invention. So likewise, in Israel, where there was acute shortage of irrigation water, the soils are saline, this sandy soils, and then the farmer need to produce, for which they started using the drip irrigation system. They were developed to meet the challenges of tough soil and severe lack of water. So, friend, 2 million of the farmers, they wake up every day and put their trust in it. We work all type of farmers, small, medium, and big farmers. Friends, we believe in maintaining the relationships. We believe in developing the relationship. We were working with the grandparents, parents, and now with the new generation. So, in creating and maintaining close relations with the customer and partners. NETAP being an international company, it's world's #1 company. We have received so many awards and rewards throughout our journey. Yes. So, friends, #1 company goes the globe. We have 17 manufacturing plants. We have 29 subsidiaries. 29 subsidiaries means like NETAP India is one of them. NETAP Russia, NETAP China, NETAP USA. Likewise, there are 29 subsidiaries over the globe. Our headquarters is there in Tel Aviv, in Israel. More than 5,000 employees, permanent employees are there. There are so many on team lease and all the contract basis. We are working more than 110 countries. Our sales is more than $1 billion. It is increasing every year. And friends, our market is more than 30%. This is how the Netafim is a big company, number one company, leading drip irrigation, leading smart irrigation solution provider, working for all small, medium, and big farms. In India, we came in year 1997. In 1997, we came. We have 3 manufacturing plants, 2 at Baroda and 1 at Chennai. We have 4 regional offices. One is for Gujarat, there is office in Baroda. For South India, there is office in Hyderabad. For project, there is office in Bangalore. And for Central and North India, there is office in Pune, where I sit. We have 3 manufacturing facilities, I told it to you. 11 state offices are there. Then 13 warehouses we have. But from where we are supplying the drip irrigation material in every corner of our country. So friends, if you see, we have covered about 7,20,000 hectares of area. We have reached up to 8,50,000 of farmers, and we have our partners, more than 2,500 dealers. They are our partners, through which we are working for the benefit of the farmers. Our competitor is we have distinctive R&D technology, wide range of products, customized services, vast experience we are the expert global agronomy team support. What is happening in South Africa, Russia, China. So all that information can be passed upon the Indian farmers or the Maharashtra farmers. Global presence enables the proximity to the customers, to different customers in different parts of the globe. Proven track record of handling big projects, medium projects, all type of projects. Offerings, as I said, in irrigation, the greenhouses, and more important, now we are there in a digital farming solution with the NetWeed technology through which we really wanted to give the benefit to the farmers. We are working in a community projects, community irrigation project, keep bringing the people together and giving the equitable or the uniform, equal water to all the farmers, irrespective of these crops. So friends, drip irrigation is a proven technology. It's a proven solution. It is created by the farmers for the benefit of the farmers. So friends, it is technically feasible, economically viable, and it needs to be adopted. Larger area at a faster rate. Our Prime Minister also says more crop per row. And for this, I really, for last, I think, more than 1.5 hours, I'm elaborating the things. We need to increase the productivity. We need to bring the smiles on the faces of the farmer. We need to increase the net profitability farmer. We need to give the peace of mind to the farmers. And this is very important. This can be possible through this drip irrigation, through Netafim irrigation technology. Friends, this initiative I took, and you people responded to that. I'm very much thankful to the principal, Jagtap sir, to Savita Shinde madam, and to all the students and the staff members participated in this training program. Thank you, one and all. I will be reached, means you can reach to me on my cell number 95 45 45 6902. My mail address is arun.deshmukh@netafim. If there are any questions, you are most welcome. Or any additional information about the drip irrigation system, about the cropping system, about learning in the micro irrigation, about getting a training in our company. So you can contact us on the missed call number 89 55 66 4403 or toll free number 1800 103 2000. So you are most welcome to contact us. You can write to me, you can phone to me, you can write, you can call on this missed call number or the toll free number. This is very important, friends. So what's more important is that, you see, so what is more important, I will tell it to you, that by adoption, by understanding this technology, you will come to know the latest happenings. And I have observed that, being in charge of the central committee, I have observed that many of the students, they are not able to answer the simple questions in agriculture, although they have learned for 3 years or 5 years. So most important is get updated, get upgraded by the knowledge wherever it becomes available, through books, through teaching, through training, through the programs which can be organized for us, which are organized for you from the companies like us. So you're most welcome. For any clarification, for any doubt, you can ask me some of the questions if you have. So friends, thank you, one and all. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vidyan, Jai Netafim Tanzania. Thank you. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, actually, during this session, whatever points you have covered, some of the points were as a part of syllabus. of our first year and second year students. So that points are definitely helpful for our students. Sir has also guided about drip irrigation valve, NetaBeat, and dosing machines. And sir also show us about different success stories of farmers. That is really very helpful for our students. Now we are moving towards our question answer session. If any participant have question, they may put their questions in chat box, or they may ask their questions through raise hand option.
I'm expecting the question from the students because you see, I was talking for last so much time. So if you have any question, any doubt, any query in mind, you can ask that. Whether it's right or wrong, that is a different issue. But you should ask. You should be very communicative. You should be proactive in asking the questions. Yes.
Yes, sir, definitely. I again request to students, if there are any questions regarding this, you may ask. Feel free to ask.
Animesh Rathod.
Yes, Animesh.
Good afternoon, sir. It is very nice. Lecture is very nice. But I have one question. Many of the farmers are facing the problem of clogging of emitter. How can we resolve it?
Yeah, actually, as I said in the lecture, I will be answering. It's a good question. Basically, many of the farmers are facing the problem of the blockage or the clogging of the drippers. That is mainly because, you see, the filtration is not efficient. Depending upon the water quality, there are two types of filters to be used. One is the gravel filter, another is the secondary filter. Secondary filter, that is screen out this filter. So depending upon the water quality, water analysis is important. So based on that water analysis, right or appropriate type of filtration system needs to be installed. If it is done, then there is no issue of the blocking or clogging over drippers. So maintenance is important part of it. Yes, Animesh, is it clear?
Yes, sir. And one more question, sir. What is an unit cost of that you have told about digital farming?
Yeah, basically, you see, the irrigation system, every system is a tailor-made system, depending upon your requirement. Your first needs to be done survey, then actually the design will be prepared, and accordingly the quotation will be prepared. For digital farming solution, as I told you, it is available for small, medium, and big farmers. So to what extent you need to have the automation? Suppose you need to have the complete automation. You need to have the NetBeat technology. Then the cost may go up. The farmers is having more area. Suppose more we have installed so many systems in Nashik district for the grape farmers. If they have higher area, they're growing the more, what you can say, the cash crops, so they can go for the complete technology, NetBeat technology. The cost is initially it will be high, but over the period, because the life of the system is more than 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So if you consider the cost per time, per year, it will be less. The costing depends upon the, it cannot be said generalized, but it will depend upon your requirement, your need, and depends upon the survey and design. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any other question?
Any other student want to ask question from third year, final year? You may put your questions in chat box. Okay, sir, there is one question. Which of the irrigation systems having both water use efficiency and fertilizer use efficiency highest?
Actually, this is subsurface irrigation system gives the highest water and nutrient use efficiency. Because you see, the evaporation is minimized, the water is given exactly in the contact of the roots. So no wastage as such. It doesn't go beyond the root zone, as well as there is no evaporation. So subsurface irrigation system with automation gives the better results.
Okay, sir. There is one more question. What is the rate of AI in irrigation systems and applications?
Rate of AI, what is that AI? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is the question? Please repeat it.
What is the rate of AI in irrigation systems and applications?
I think
Artificial.
it is the role of AI, artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Basically, you see, artificial intelligence. Yeah, this is a technology which is adopted on a larger scale. But you see, I will tell it to you. In automation or digital farming, basically, we are based on the softwares. We use the softwares, we use the technology, we use the ground reality, we use the cloud technology in this. So artificial intelligence, that type of things, normally we do not go for it, but it's a common term, artificial intelligence we use. Okay.
Okay, sir. What types of fertilizers can be applied to the crops through fertigation?
Any fertilizer which can be applied, which is a water soluble, 100% water soluble, or liquid fertilizers.
Okay, sir.
It should
Can
not
you?
yes.
Okay, sir. Can you guide us about GIS and GPS, or what is the difference between both, as this is part of syllabus for our first year students?
Basically, in this you see, GPS, that is, as you know, actually GPS means what? Geographical. Basically, what's the long form of GPS? The students might be knowing that. Actually, that type of information we do not use in automation. Actually, that is required for the surveying of the lands on a larger area.
Okay.
So we use that information because of this technology. We get the information, we prompt the control surveys, and then we design the system in a larger projects. The projects actually we are in thousands of acres. In South India, we are working on 150,000 hectares at a stage. So in this case, we use the GPS and GIS technology for doing the surveys and getting the ground reality. Okay.
Okay, sir. Next question is about how we can do precision agriculture, and what are the basic needs or tools required for that?
As I told you to now, precision agriculture refers to what? Refers to irrigating and fertilizating every single plant or a tree in a 1 acre or 1 hectare area to harness its maximum potential of a yield and its quality. So we need to do every agronomy practice starting from land preparation, seed selection, planting layout, irrigation, nutrition, plant protection, everything we need to do 100% correct. And because of which the highest productivity or highest yield we need to harness out of that. So that is the precision agriculture. It involves everything. It involves the concept of all, just like agronomy, we say that no, it's a cultivation science. So starting from land preparation till harvesting, everything we need to do perfectly, precisely, so as to get the highest productivity per unit of land and per unit of input. Okay.
Okay, sir. Will you please guide us about hydroponics?
Yeah, hydroponics, yes, actually that has come into the practice basically, but you see, these are the new technology. Hydroponics, the soil-less cultivation. Hydroponics means that growing the plants in the water itself. Okay, so providing the this nutrition that we can provide. So we are working on such a project, but these are the new concepts basically, which are not adopted on a larger area. But it is going to come. Vertical farming is going to come. Greenhouse cultivation, polyhouses, then this hydroponics, soil-less cultivation. These things are coming up. These are the new things in India agriculture, but it will be catching as per the time.
Okay, sir. What is about site-specific crop management and site-specific nutrient management?
Site-specific is basically what you see in a different area. Actually, in 1 acre of a land, there is a heterogeneous soil types. So, depending upon the particular type of a soil, we apply the nutrients. How we apply the nutrients? There are 3 types. One is that recommended practice of giving the certain fertilizer NPK doses. Another is what? Another is as per the soil analysis. Third is what? As per the plant analysis. So basically, depending upon what type of technology you are using, suppose soil-based data. So based on that, we can develop the practices of the certain nutrient requirement in a particular territory or particular area or particular location. That is what we call as a site-specific nutrient management. Okay, in which we integrate all type of fertilizer, organic, inorganic, and biological fertilizer. So all these fertilizers, so we call it as integrated nutrient management based on site-specific. Okay, so that is site-specific nutrient management. Yes.
Okay, sir. Will you please guide us about VRT practices, that is variable rate technology?
That we are not adopting as such. Basically, we do not have the information about that.
Okay. So, okay, sir. There is a last question. How decision support system can be effectively utilized in digital farming?
Actually, that information basically is whatever the data we are getting internally as well as externally. In a digital farming solution, basically what technology we are adopting is that remote RTUs, basically they are placed at different locations. That is the representative locations. They collect the information of the real data, and that information is passed to the MCU. And we have certain information which can be made available from the cloud technology, third-party data integration. Suppose for a particular crop, there is a consultant or advisor. He supplies certain information. So internal as well as external data, so that can be incorporated, and those decisions will be taken by the MCU, that will be analyzed, the monitored, and that will be given for the implementation. So this is our decision support system we use in our digital farming solution system. Okay.